Heavy delivery. Dutch CH-47 Chinooks. Sling load training. The first hint of movement comes long before sunrise. Across the flat Dutch countryside, a blanket of mist hangs low over green fields, winding canals and quiet villages still asleep beneath the fading night. There is no traffic, no voices, only the distant call of birds welcoming another morning. Then, almost imperceptibly, a deep rhythmic sound begins to ripple across the landscape. Thump, thump, thump. It grows louder with every passing second, until the unmistakable heartbeat of tandem rotors dominates the silence. Emerging from the morning haze is one of the most recognizable helicopters ever built, the Royal Netherlands Air Force's Boeing CH-47F Chinook. It is not sleek like a fighter jet or intimidating like an attack helicopter. Instead, it is massive, purposeful, and unmistakably industrial. Every line of its design reflects one mission above all others, carrying immense weight wherever it is needed. Today, that mission is heavy delivery. But before a single kilogram leaves the ground, before the engines roar to full power and the helicopter hovers over waiting cargo, an extraordinary chain of preparation must unfold. Sling load operations are among the most demanding tasks performed by military helicopter crews. Success depends not on brute strength alone, but on teamwork, precision, discipline, and trust between dozens of soldiers who each perform a role where even the smallest mistake can have serious consequences. Their workplace today is Gilze Ryan Air Base, home of the Royal Netherlands Air Force's legendary 298 Squadron. Known throughout NATO simply as the Grizzlies, the squadron carries a Latin motto that perfectly captures its identity: Nihil nobis nimium. Nothing is too much for us. It is more than an inspiring phrase painted on squadron walls. It is a promise. Whether responding to NATO's Ural disasters, supporting peacekeeping missions, transporting humanitarian aid, or operating in combat zones thousands of kilometers from home, the Grizzlies have built a reputation for accomplishing missions that often seem impossible. Heavy lifting is their specialty. Yet even after decades of operational experience, they continue to train relentlessly. Because in military aviation, proficiency is temporary. Only repetition creates instinct. As dawn slowly brightens the flight line, maintenance crews are already surrounding the waiting Chinooks. Fuel hoses snake beneath the aircraft. Inspection panels stand open. Technicians move methodically from nose to tail, checking hydraulic systems, rotor assemblies, electrical components, and flight controls. Nothing is rushed. Every inspection follows a precise checklist refined through decades of operational experience. Unlike commercial aviation, military helicopters routinely fly into environments where landing strips do not exist. They operate from muddy fields, mountain slopes, deserts, forests, and combat zones. Reliability isn't simply desirable, it is essential. Nearby, another team prepares something equally important. The cargo. Rows of military vehicles wait in formation. Utility trucks, light tactical transports, cargo pallets stacked with equipment, fuel containers, engineering supplies. Every item has been selected to challenge the crews during today's sling load exercise. To an outside observer, attaching a vehicle beneath a helicopter may appear straightforward. In reality, it is an exact science. Specially trained rigging teams begin their work. Heavy-duty sling assemblies are carefully laid out across the ground. Steel hooks are inspected for wear. Chains are measured. Attachment points are examined repeatedly. Every connection must distribute weight evenly across the aircraft's lifting system. Even a slag. Weight imbalance can introduce dangerous oscillations once airborne. Each load possesses its own center of gravity. Finding it requires careful calculation. The crews verify dimensions, measure distances, confirm weight limits, inspect securing points, cross-check documentation. Nothing is assumed, nothing is left to chance. Once satisfied, they perform another inspection, then another. Because once a Chinook begins lifting several tons into the air, correcting a mistake becomes almost impossible.
Safety begins long before the engines ever start. Meanwhile, inside the operations building, today's flight crews gather around digital maps and weather displays. The mission briefing begins. Wind direction, temperature, visibility, potential turbulence, radio frequencies, emergency procedures, alternate landing zones. Each topic receives careful attention. The Netherlands may appear relatively flat, but weather changes quickly. Strong coastal winds can create unpredictable conditions. Low cloud ceilings may reduce visibility. Rain can affect both flight performance and ground operations. Every variable influences the mission. Pilots discuss flight routes. Loadmasters review communication procedures. Ground commanders coordinate timing with air mobile forces responsible for attaching each sling load beneath the aircraft. Every participant understands that sling load operations are unlike ordinary transport flights. The helicopter never truly lands. Instead, it hovers. Sometimes only centimeters above uneven terrain, sometimes directly above waiting soldiers, sometimes over obstacles that leave virtually no room for error. Communication becomes everything. Outside, sunlight begins reflecting from the Chinook's distinctive tandem rotor blades. Despite its enormous size, the aircraft possesses a surprisingly elegant engineering philosophy. Instead of using a traditional tail rotor, the Chinook employs two massive counter-rotating rotor systems mounted fore and aft. This unique configuration eliminates torque while providing exceptional lifting capability. The result is one of the most capable heavy-lift helicopters ever created. Its two Honeywell T-55 GA744A engines produce thousands of horsepower each. Together, they generate enough power to transport soldiers, artillery, engineering equipment, armored vehicles, humanitarian supplies, or construction materials almost anywhere they are needed. Yet raw power alone does not explain the Chinook's remarkable reputation. Its true strength lies in versatility. Within minutes, the helicopter can transform from troop transport to medical evacuation platform, from disaster relief aircraft to cargo hauler, from combat resupply helicopter to airborne command platform. Few military aircraft possess such flexibility. That adaptability explains why the Chinook continues serving armed forces around the world more than 6 decades after entering service. For the Royal Netherlands Air Force, however, today's focus is external cargo. Beneath the helicopter's fuselage are 3 powerful cargo hooks. Each has been engineered to carry extraordinary weight. Depending on the mission, crews may use a single hook or combine multiple hooks to stabilize exceptionally large loads. This system allows the aircraft to transport equipment simply too large to fit inside its cargo compartment. Entire vehicles, heavy artillery, bridging equipment, generators, construction machinery, everything suspended beneath the aircraft by carefully engineered sling assemblies. Yet despite all this technology, success still depends upon human judgment. Back on the flight line, pilots climb aboard. The cockpit reveals how dramatically the Chinook has evolved. Instead of rows of analog gauges, large multifunction displays dominate the instrument panel. Digital navigation systems provide real-time positioning. Weather information updates continuously. Mission data appears instantly. Night vision compatibility enables operations after sunset. Modern flight management systems reduce pilot workload while increasing situational awareness. Even so, no computer can replace experience. The crew begins its pre-flight checklist. Battery on, avionics initialized, hydraulic pressure verified, engine instruments monitored, flight controls tested, communication systems checked. Every switch moves in deliberate sequence. Every response confirmed aloud. No shortcuts exist. The cockpit reflects the culture of military aviation itself, discipline reinforced through repetition. Outside, ground crews clear the surrounding area. Rotor blades begin turning slowly, almost lazily. Their movement accelerates steadily until the distinctive blur forms above the aircraft. Dust rises, Loose grass flattens instantly beneath increasing rotor wash. Loose equipment vibrates. Voices become impossible to hear without headsets. The Chinook is coming alive. Its engines settle into a deep mechanical rhythm that resonates through the ground itself. Nearby soldiers instinctively tighten chin straps and secure loose clothing. Everyone understands the invisible power now filling the air. Rotor wash from a Chinook is immense. Standing too close without preparation can be dangerous. Still, the ground crews move confidently. They have rehearsed these procedures countless times. As the aircraft taxis toward the training area, another team positions the first load. Today's opening exercise involves a relatively modest military vehicle. Even so, it weighs several tons, far more than any civilian helicopter could safely transport. The vehicle rolls into its designated pickup point. Rigging teams immediately surround it. Final attachment points receive one last inspection. Hooks remain disconnected until the helicopter arrives. Timing matters. The longer crews remain beneath a hovering helicopter, the greater the risk. Efficiency saves time. Time improves safety. Minutes later, the Chinook approaches low across the field. The roar intensifies. Grass bends flat beneath invisible pressure. Dust spirals into the air. The aircraft slows almost to a stop before entering a perfectly controlled hover. Despite weighing nearly 30 tons, the helicopter appears suspended effortlessly against the morning sky. Appearances, however, are deceptive. Inside the cockpit, both pilots work continuously. Tiny control inputs compensate for wind gusts. Engine power changes constantly. Rotor pitch adjusts automatically. Hovering demands absolute concentration. Unlike fixed-wing aircraft moving hundreds of kilometers per hour, helicopters never enjoy stability naturally. Every second requires active control. At the rear ramp, the loadmaster watches the ground intently. From this position, they become the pilot's most valuable source of information. The load itself remains invisible from the cockpit. Only the loadmaster can judge precise positioning. Through the intercom comes a calm, measured voice. Forward 2 meters. Easy left. Hold. Steady. Every instruction is concise, every correction deliberate. Below, ground soldiers crouch beneath the tremendous rotor wash. One member carefully grasps the static discharge wand, grounding the suspended cargo hook before anyone touches it. Without this simple but critical step, accumulated static electricity could cause serious injury. Only after the hook has been safely discharged does another soldier guide the sling assembly into position. Metal meets metal. The hook locks. A final hand signal confirms attachment. The loadmaster acknowledges immediately. Hook engaged. Inside the cockpit, power increases. The Chinook seems almost to pause. Then slowly, the heavy vehicle begins separating from the earth. Its suspension extends. Tires lose contact with the ground. For one remarkable moment, something designed to travel roads hangs silently beneath a flying machine. The lift has begun. For everyone watching below, it remains one of aviation's most extraordinary sights. Not Beck. Oars of speed, not because of noise, but because of precision. Thousands of kilograms now depend entirely upon the coordination of pilots, engineers, loadmasters, and ground crews working together as one perfectly synchronized team. This is far more than transportation. It is controlled strength, measured power, a demonstration of engineering and human skill operating in complete harmony. And for the Grizzlies of 298 Squadron, this is only the beginning of another day.